lunch. William said the word was the first virus. I think stupidity is the last virus. It is going to kill us all very shortly. The situation in the world is much worse than most people think it is. The great prestigious magazine from England, Nature, just came out with an article recently citing 9 parameters on the world. Among those are things like the acidification of the ocean, the phosphorus-nitrogen exchange, which is largely due to industrial agriculture, the disappearance of species.
Sir, do you have a question for us?
So I just wanted to run these all out. And privacy does not no longer exist.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Would you wait for the microphone, please?
Sure. Hi, my name's Ida. I'm a librarian.
Hi.
And two of the main concerns that I have are one about children, the little Pat the Bunny books that you won't be able to get, same kind of thing, the wonderful illustrations that help build readers, and also for the digital divide, the people that can't afford technology. And I was wondering if you could respond to this.
We're done.
I'm a father. I've got twin 10-year-old boys, and they have grown up in a house with a very geeky father who has multiple computers and spends a lot of his time staring into them. But we also have enormous numbers of books, and I don't think the market for, I think children's books would be the final market of books to vanish should the market vanish, which I don't think it will. Kids love to sit with their parents and on their laps, sit on their laps with their parents with the books and look at them. That seems to be as innate as anything that I've observed as a parent. And so I think that until somebody actually outlaws these books, which I'm not worried about happening, the market will provide. For the digital divide is a different and more complex issue, and it's a real issue. What's happened there is technology continues getting, everything does get cheaper. This has been one of the curves of the technology industry. And so the issue is less, to me, about does technology remain unavailable to people with fewer resources, but rather do we perpetuate in the online world the kinds of divisions and differences of status and economic position and all of the inequities of the offline world. And of course it's inevitable that we will, because we haven't figured out how to solve these problems yet. And my hope is that to whatever extent we can leverage the technology to reduce some of those inequities, some of the powers of the subversion that Annalee talked about can be applied.
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to speak about a different kind
I'm
of...
sorry, we're taking another question from...
Oh, I wanted to respond to her very quickly. Okay. Before I found my happy home at Cleus Press and Viva Editions, I worked at an international publishing house that did a lot of coffee table books, and I noticed a very bizarre phenomena. There were limited editions, like photography books and books that, like Star Wars Vault and things like that have like the beautiful book, and it was a fancy cloth jacket in a box with a little Yoda doll or something like that, and they would cost hundreds of dollars. And so it seemed like the market was moving to like sort of the book as fetish object in these limited editions, that I was publishing books I could never afford, and then the value, then other books, the price was being driven way, way down. So then I moved to Cleus and we do fetish books that you can afford.
Thank you, Brenda. Karen.
Hi, my name is Karen. I'm a poet, and I have a comment or a question for Mr. Handler. I'm sort of curious that on this particular panel discussion, you actually brought the book. to comment on its inconvenience. Is that the purpose?
I did not bring it to comment on its inconvenience. I brought it because I'm reading it, and I took Muni here, and
Right.
and then but when I walked in, one of the other panelists said, "Well, that, were you planning on thunking it on the table as a symbol of its might or something?"
I simply have a comment about your assertion of the book itself being a miracle, that it even exists. I wonder about that, since from the very beginnings of human civilization, humans have been writing on physical matter, drawing on cave walls, writing on paper. This seems to be a rather human need, rather than a privilege. And I just find it awfully curious that a book would be actually considered a miracle. It seems to be a necessity for most people.
I don't think those are mutually exclusive terms, I guess. I will quote Mr. Snicket, if I may, who says that miracles are like meatballs because no one can agree what they're made of, what they're for, or how often they should appear. If you go down to Ocean Beach and watch the sunset, it looks like a miracle, but you could do it every day. And so I quite agree with you. It's not new that people have been writing on a surface that then gets passed around a lot.
Do you believe then that the book...
Aaron, we have to move to another question, I'm sorry.
Sorry, there's nothing I'd like more than talking miracles all night with a poet, though. I'll just say that.
It was lovely. Thank you. Gentlemen.